June 10, 1944, 4 days after D-Day. A car races through the French countryside near Limoges. Inside, British SOE agent Violette Szabo and French resistance leader Jacques Dufour. German roadblock ahead. They try to turn around. Too late. Machine gun fire. The car crashes. Dufour runs into the wheat field. Violette follows. Then her ankle gives out. The same ankle she sprained during parachute training. The one that almost washed her out of spy school. It fails her now, at the worst possible moment. The SS is closing in. 200 soldiers from the 2nd SS Panzer Division Das Reich. Violette can't run, can't escape. She watches Dufour disappear into the wheat. Good, he knows where the resistance fighters are hiding. He has intelligence that can save lives. She makes a choice that will define her forever. She positions herself behind a tree, pulls out her Sten gun, and for 30 minutes she holds off 200 SS soldiers, alone, buying time with bullets, giving Dufour the minutes he needs to escape. When her ammunition runs out, they swarm her. She fights, bites, kicks, scratches. When the officer offers her a cigarette, she spits in his face. 3 months later, February 5, 1945, Ravensbrück concentration camp. Violette Szabo is executed with a single shot to the back of the head. She's 23 years old. Her daughter Tanya is 2 and will never remember her mother. Violette never broke under torture, never revealed a single name, never stopped trying to escape. They killed her 3 months before the war ended. This is the story of Britain's most decorated female spy. The young mother who chose to parachute into Nazi-occupied France because her husband died fighting, and she wanted revenge. Violette Reine Elizabeth Bushell is born in Paris, June 26, 1921. English father, French mother, 4 brothers. She grows up bilingual, splitting childhood between France and London. The family settles in Stockwell, South London, when she's 11. The neighbors remember her as a tomboy, competitive, fearless, athletic, always trying to keep up with her brothers, excellent shot with a rifle. Her father teaches her she's better than the boys. They hate it. She loves it. The teenage years blur. Department store work, dating, dancing. She's beautiful. Dark hair, bright eyes, quick smile, Cockney accent that makes everything she says sound like mischief. September 1939, war breaks out. Violette joins the Women's Land Army. The work is dull, strawberry picking, farm labor. This isn't fighting. This isn't contribution. She's restless, wants more, transfers to an aircraft factory. Still not enough. Then she meets him. Bastille Day, July 14, 1940. Violette is at a parade in London celebrating France. She notices a dashing French Foreign Legion officer, Etienne Szabo, Hungarian French, career soldier. They talk, chemistry immediate. 5 weeks later, they're married. Everyone says it's too fast. They don't care. War makes you live faster. Etienne ships out. North Africa, Middle East, brief leaves, stolen moments. Then Violette gets pregnant. Tanya is born June 8, 1942. Etienne has never seen his daughter. 4 months later, October 24, 1942, Violette receives the telegram. Etienne killed in action. El Alamein, leading a diversionary attack. Died from chest wounds. Never saw his daughter. Never will. Grief turns to rage. Rage becomes purpose. The enemy that killed Etienne is still out there, still occupying France, still murdering. She can't just pick strawberries while Nazis destroy Europe. She needs to fight, needs to hurt them back, needs revenge. The Special Operations Executive gives her that chance. The SOE approaches her, or she approaches them. The records are unclear. What's clear is that Violette Szabo is exactly what they need. Fluent French, native speaker, athletic, courageous, motivated. She could blend into occupied France perfectly. They offer her a desk job first. Test her enthusiasm. She refuses. Field agent or nothing. I don't want to file paperwork. I want to fight. They're cautious. She's a mother. What about her daughter? Violette's answer is cold logic. Tanya will be safer in a world without Nazis, so I need to help defeat them. July 1943. Security clearance granted. She's commissioned as section leader in the First Aid Nursing Yeomanry. It's a cover. Fan Y is often used to hide female SOE agents. Her family doesn't know. Her friends don't know. She's officially a clerk. Secretly, she's training to be a spy, parachuted behind enemy lines. Sabotage, espionage, courier work. The life expectancy isn't good. Of 55 female SOE agents, 12 will be executed. 13 killed in action. Violette knows the odds, accepts them anyway. Training is brutal. Winterfold House, Scottish Highlands, Arisag. They teach her everything. Fieldcraft, navigation by stars, weapons. She's already a good shot. They make her exceptional. Demolition, how to blow bridges, rail lines, warehouses, cryptography, escape and evasion, unarmed combat. She excels at some, struggles with others. The reports are mixed, lacks finesse, too impulsive, easily influenced, but sets an excellent example. Courageous, determined, popular with fellow trainees. Her infectious laughter keeps morale high. They call her Cockney accent impish. She keeps everyone's spirits up even during the hardest training. Parachute training almost ends everything. Ringway Airport, Manchester, first jump. She lands wrong. Badly sprained ankle. Out for weeks. Sent to Bournemouth to recuperate. This is the ankle that will betray her later in France. She doesn't know that yet. She just knows she needs to pass the parachute course. So she does. Second attempt. February 1944. Passes with second-class rating. Good enough. January 24th, 1944. She makes her will. Vera Atkins witnesses it. Intelligence officer for F section. Mother Reina is executrix. Daughter Tanya, sole beneficiary. The document is practical, clinical. If I die, my daughter gets everything. She's 22 years old writing her will. Most people that age don't think about death. Violette thinks about it constantly because she's about to parachute into Nazi-occupied France. And she might not come back. April 1944, first mission. Codename, Corinne Rain-Leroy. Cover story, commercial secretary from Le Havre, gives her reason to travel. Parachutes in over Cherbourg with Philippe Lever. His codename, Major Charles Staunton. Their mission, assess damage from recent Gestapo arrests. An entire resistance circuit was compromised. Over 100 resistance fighters captured. The network is shattered. London needs to know what happened, who survived, what can be salvaged. Violette travels alone to Rouen, a young woman moving through German-controlled territory. Checkpoints everywhere, papers inspected constantly. One mistake and she's arrested, tortured, executed. She doesn't make mistakes. She gathers intelligence, confirms the network is destroyed. But she finds something valuable. Lists of German war factories, locations, production capacities. She memorizes everything. Can't write it down. Too dangerous. If captured with written intelligence, she's definitely executed. 3 weeks in France. She completes the mission, returns with crucial information. The factories producing war materials. Targets for Allied bombers. The mission is a success. Her first time behind enemy lines. She survived. Proved herself. The trainers who questioned her finesse and stability were wrong. She can do this. She can be a spy. When her plane returns to England, it's hit by anti-aircraft fire. Close call. But they land safely. Violette reports to Vera Atkins. Mission accomplished. She could stop. One mission is enough. She's proven herself. Proven to Etienne's memory that she's fighting back, but she doesn't stop. Because the war isn't over. The Nazis are still there. France is still occupied. Her husband is still dead. So when they ask if she'll go back, she says yes immediately. Second mission, more dangerous. Right after D-Day, the Germans will be on high alert, paranoid, hunting for spies. Violette volunteers anyway. June 6, 1944. D-Day. Allied forces land in Normandy. The liberation of France has begun. The Germans are scrambling. Reinforcements moving. The SOE needs eyes on the ground, intelligence on German movements. The 2nd SS Panzer Division. Das Reich is heading north. They're murdering civilians along the way, hanging resistance, burning villages. Someone needs to track them, report their movements. Coordinate with resistance fighters to slow them down. June 7th. Violette parachutes into Limoges with 3 colleagues. Jacques Dufour, Jean-Claude Guillet, Bob Maloubier. Their mission: connect with local resistance, organize sabotage, disrupt German movements. The stakes are massive. Every hour they delay Das Reich means more Allied soldiers survive on the Normandy beaches. Every blown bridge, every ambushed convoy, every disrupted rail line saves lives in Normandy. This mission matters. June 10th, 3 days in. Violette and Dufour driving to meet a resistance leader. Country road. Suddenly, German roadblock. They try to turn around. Machine gun fire shatters the windshield. The car crashes. Dufour scrambles out, runs for the wheat field. Violette follows. Then her ankle collapses. That training injury from Ringway. Months ago. Healed but never fully strong. It fails now. She can't run. Dufour is disappearing into the wheat. He has the intelligence, the contacts, the plans. He must escape. Violette makes a decision in seconds. She positions herself, Sten gun ready, and she opens fire on the approaching SS. The Germans scatter. Take cover, return fire. They outnumber her 200 to 1. They have machine guns, vehicles, grenades. She has a Sten gun and 30 rounds, maybe 60 if she has spare magazines. For 30 minutes, she holds them off. 30 minutes of firing, moving, finding new cover, reloading, firing again. The Germans can't believe one person is doing this. They think it's multiple resistance fighters. How else could someone pin down 200 soldiers? They call for reinforcements. More troops arrive. Artillery. They're bringing overwhelming force against one British spy in a tree line. Her ammunition runs out. The Sten gun clicks empty. No more magazines. She's done. The Germans realize it. They swarm her position. She doesn't surrender quietly. She fights, bites, claws, kicks, pure fury. They drag her to an officer. He's impressed, offers her a cigarette, tries to be civilized. She spits in his face. No words, just contempt. The officer wipes his face, smiles coldly. You're going to regret that. But she bought Dufour 30 minutes. He escaped, reached the resistance. The mission continued without her. German movements were reported. Sabotage happened. Das Reich was delayed, reached Normandy too late, missed the critical early days. Allied forces consolidated their position, partially because Violette Szabo held off 200 SS soldiers for 30 minutes with a sprained ankle and a Sten gun. She traded her freedom for mission success. Knew what she was doing, did it anyway. Limoges, SS headquarters. They know she's SOE. Her papers are too good, her French too perfect, her courage too extreme. She's not a random civilian, she's a trained agent. They need names, networks, plans. They have 4 days to break her, 4 days of interrogation. SS Sturmbannführer Kowach handles it personally. He's experienced, brutal, efficient. Hundreds have talked under his methods. Violette doesn't. She gives them a name. Vicky Taylor. It's an alias she prepared for Spain escape routes. It means nothing. They ask about resistance contacts. She claims ignorance, just a courier. Don't know anyone important. They don't believe her. They escalate. The details of what happens in those 4 days aren't fully documented. The records are Nazi. They lie. But torture is certain. Beatings, sleep deprivation, worse. Violette endures, gives them nothing. July, they transport her to Fresnes prison near Paris, notorious, where captured agents go before deportation or execution. Heavy guard, more interrogation. She meets other captured agents. Brian Stonehouse, a friend from SOE training. They communicate briefly, coded messages, hand signals. The Germans separate them quickly. But seeing a friendly face, even in prison, matters. Reminds you why you're there, why silence matters, why you can't break. August 1944, the Allies are approaching Paris. The Germans evacuate prisoners. Deportation to concentration camps in Germany. Violette is chained to another female prisoner. 12 women total, chained in pairs, loaded onto a train. The journey takes a week. Cattle cars, stops for nighttime transit only. Daytime, they sit in sidings to avoid Allied bombers. No food, no water, no sanitation. 1 week of hell. Some women break mentally. Violette keeps spirits up, Cockney humor, quiet defiance, that infectious laughter even in chains. They arrive at Ravensbrück, the notorious women's concentration camp. The smell hits first, crematoriums, death, the jackbooted female guards, whips, dogs. This is the place you go to die. Odette Sansom is here, another SOE agent, captured earlier. She'll survive and later say Violette Szabo was the bravest of us all. High praise from someone who endured her own torture and solitary confinement. Life in Ravensbrück is calculated death, starvation rations, 12-hour workdays, building roads, cutting trees, factory labor. The barracks are overcrowded, lice-infested, disease spreads fast. The weak die quickly, the strong die slowly. Everyone dies eventually. That's the design. Work them to death. When they can't work, gas them, burn the bodies, make room for more. Violette refuses to accept it. She tries to escape. Twice, both times caught. Punishment, solitary confinement, whipping, darkness, starvation. She endures, comes out weaker but unbroken. The guards hate her. She won't submit, won't break, keeps trying. Other prisoners draw strength from her. If she can resist, maybe we can too. Winter 1944. Violette and 2 other SOE agents are selected for special labor. Denise Bloch, Lillian Rolfe. They're sent to Torgau, 300 miles away, forced to cut down trees, clear land for an aerodrome. In winter, with inadequate clothing, on starvation rations. Women are dying around them, freezing to death, collapsing from exhaustion. Violette keeps working, keeps the other 2 moving, can't give up. Won't give the bastards the satisfaction. Denise Bloch, Jewish, French. Worked with resistance before joining SOE. Betrayed by someone she trusted. Captured during Gestapo raid. Now cutting trees in German winter. Waiting to die. Lillian Rolfe, English father, French mother, raised in Brazil. Wireless operator, captured almost by accident. Germans weren't even looking for her. Questioned. Her anyway. Discovered who she was, now she's here, in the snow, in the cold. In hell, the 3 women bond, share scraps of food, keep each other warm, tell stories, remember home, remember England, remember why they volunteered. They know they probably won't survive. Statistics aren't in their favor, but they'll survive today and tomorrow, one day at a time, until they can't. January 1945. They're sent back to Ravensbrück, weaker, exhausted, malnourished, but alive. Placed in solitary confinement, more brutality, more whippings. The guards are more vicious now. The war is lost. Germany is collapsing. But they're still killing, still torturing, still destroying lives because they can. Around February 5th, 1945. The exact date is uncertain. Violette Szabo, Denise Bloch, and Lillian Rolfe are taken from their cells. They know what's coming. No illusions, no last-minute rescue. They've been sentenced to death. Nacht und Nebel, night and fog, prisoners who disappear without trace, no records, no notification, just gone. Violette walks to her execution. Denise and Lillian are too weak. Months of starvation and hard labor destroyed them. They can't walk. Guards drag them, or carry them, or shoot them in their cells. The accounts vary. The Nazis didn't keep careful records of murders, just that 3 British spies were eliminated. Violette receives a single bullet to the back of the neck, execution style. She's 23 years old. Her daughter, Tanya, is 2 years and 8 months. Will never remember her mother. Violette's body is cremated, ashes scattered, no grave, no marker, just gone. The Nazis wanted her erased. Nacht und Nebel, disappeared into night and fog. 3 months later, May 8, 1945, Germany surrenders. The war in Europe is over. Violette missed victory by 3 months. 3 months. If she'd survived just a bit longer, if the evacuation from Paris had been slower, if Ravensbrück had been liberated sooner, but she didn't survive. And 2 years later, Britain realizes what they lost. December 17, 1946, nearly 2 years after her death. Violette Szabo is posthumously awarded the George Cross, Britain's highest civilian decoration for heroism. Only the second woman ever to receive it. The first was Odette Sansom, fellow SOE agent, fellow Ravensbrück survivor. The ceremony is at Buckingham Palace. Violette's daughter Tanya, now 4 years old, receives the medal on her mother's behalf. The little girl doesn't understand. She barely remembers her mother. Just fragments, photographs, stories told by Grandmother Reine. The citation reads like something from fiction, except it's all true. Captured after fierce battle, held off German soldiers despite injuries, interrogated repeatedly, revealed nothing, sent to concentration camp, endured torture and hard labor, attempted escape twice, finally executed, throughout maintained courage and determination, refused to betray colleagues, gave her life for mission success. France also honors her. 1947, Croix de Guerre, 1973, La Médaille de la Résistance. She's listed on the Valence SOE Memorial, one of the agents who died liberating France. Etienne, her husband, also has multiple decorations. Together, they're the most decorated married couple of World War II. He died at El Alamein, never seeing his daughter. She died at Ravensbrück after fighting the enemy who killed him. Their daughter, Tanya, grows up with 2 parents who are national heroes and 0 parents who are alive. 1958, the film carved her name with pride. Based on Violette's life, Virginia McKenna plays her. The movie makes her story famous. Millions learn about the young mother who became a spy, the woman who held off the SS so her comrade could escape, the agent who never broke under torture, the hero who was executed 3 months before victory. Box office success, critical acclaim, Violette Szabo becomes a household name 13 years after her death. But there's no grave to visit, no place to mourn. Ravensbrück cremated all the bodies, scattered the ashes. The Commonwealth War Graves Commission lists her on the Brookwood Memorial, panel 26, column 3. But it's just a name on stone. She's not there. She's nowhere. Just memories, just stories, just a George Cross in a museum case. The question haunts everyone who learns her story. Why? She had a daughter, a 2-year-old who needed her. She could have stayed in England, worked a desk job, contributed safely. Instead, she parachuted into Nazi France twice, risked capture, risked torture, risked death, and died. Why? The answer is in the 30 minutes. Those 30 minutes holding off Das Reich. Jacques Dufour escaped, reached the resistance. The mission continued. German movements were reported. Sabotage coordinated. Das Reich was delayed reaching Normandy. How many Allied soldiers survived D-Day because Das Reich arrived late? We'll never know exactly, but some did. Some soldiers who would have died lived instead, Because Violette Szabo bought 30 minutes with her freedom. That's why. Not glory. Not medals she'd never see. Not fame she'd never experience. The mission, the purpose, the lives saved by the intelligence gathered, the resistance fighters protected by her silence under torture, the operations that continued because she didn't break. She traded her life for mission success, knew the cost, paid it anyway. Tanya Szabo grows up with this legacy. Everyone knows who her mother was, the bravest of the brave, the woman who spat in an SS officer's face, the agent who held off 200 soldiers. It's pride mixed with loss. Your mother is a national hero. Your mother is dead. She visits the Brookwood Memorial, touches her mother's name on stone, writes a book later, young, brave, and beautiful, telling her mother's story from a daughter's perspective, trying to know a woman she barely remembers. The SOE lost 12 female agents to execution, 13 killed in action, out of 55 total. Nearly half didn't survive. Violette Szabo is the most famous, but she's one of many. Noor Inayat Khan, Diana Roden, Vera Lee, Cecily LaFour, all executed, all posthumously honored, all died doing exactly what Violette did, choosing mission over safety, intelligence over survival, victory over personal preservation. The debate continues. Should women have been sent on these missions? Was it ethical to recruit mothers? Did they understand the risks? Violette would probably laugh at these questions, that cockney impish laugh. Of course she understood. She volunteered. She chose it repeatedly. First mission success, came home, volunteered for second. The ankle injury during parachute training could have disqualified her. She rehabbed and passed the second time. Nobody forced Violette Szabo to do anything. She forced herself, because Etienne was dead, because France was occupied, because someone had to fight. Why not her? 2009, the Duke of Wellington unveils a memorial, Albert Embankment, London, bust of Violette Szabo, created by Karen Newman, bronze, permanent, a place to honor her memory, except Violette isn't there. Her ashes are scattered somewhere in Germany, or maybe they're nowhere. Maybe Ravensbrück crematorium scattered multiple victims together. Maybe part of her is mixed with Denise Bloch's ashes, or Lillian Rolfe's, or dozens of other women executed that week. The bust shows her young, 23, forever 23. Never aged, never saw her daughter grow up, never experienced peace, never knew that 70 years later people still tell her story, still teach her name, still hold her up as an example of impossible courage. She died believing she failed, captured on her second mission, tortured, executed, mission incomplete. She never knew that Dufour escaped, that the mission succeeded, that Das Reich was delayed, that her sacrifice mattered. The George Cross sits in the Imperial War Museum. Tanya donated it, along with Violette's other medals, her personal effects, photographs, letters, everything preserved so future generations can learn, can understand, can remember. Children visit on school trips. They see the medal, read the citation, ask their teachers questions. Could I do that? Would I be that brave? The teachers never know how to answer, because most people aren't that brave. Most people wouldn't volunteer for a second mission into Nazi France. Most people wouldn't hold off 200 SS soldiers to save one comrade. Violette Szabo did, at 23, with a daughter at home. Odette Sansom survived Ravensbrück, lived to old age, gave interviews, spoke at ceremonies, always mentioned Violette, always said she was the bravest of us all. Coming from Odette, who endured her own torture, her own solitary confinement, her own near execution, the praise means everything. Violette Szabo was the standard, the example, the impossible courage that inspired everyone else, The stories persist, some exaggerated. The fierce battle with her Steen gun is questioned by some historians. German records show no casualties. Maybe she fired warning shots. Maybe the 30 minutes is exaggerated. Maybe. But here's what's certain. She was captured. She was tortured. She revealed nothing. She was sent to Ravensbrück. She tried to escape twice. She endured winter forced labor. She was executed 3 months before victory. Those facts are undeniable. The rest is detail. The essence is courage. She was 23 with a baby at home. Then she parachuted into Nazi France and held off the SS so her comrades could escape. Not once, not by accident. But as part of a deliberate mission, she volunteered for twice. Knowing the risks, accepting the cost, fighting back against the enemy that killed her husband. She paid with her life. Her daughter paid with a mother. Britain paid with a hero they didn't deserve. And somewhere in the scattered ashes of Ravensbrück, Violette Szabo remains, forever 23, forever brave, forever the woman who spat in an SS officer's face and never broke. Remember her name, Violette Szabo, British spy, French fighter, mother, wife, the bravest of them all.